there's a war being waged on the Israelites, and it's beginning with the women. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Rachah HaKodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessing to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom Barakatam. And what I'm alluding to here is the recent report. I think I saw Destro do a video on it about the jobs for the so-called black woman are down 100,000, despite them reporting the job numbers are up, which all the job numbers are funny. But if they're reporting a loss, that means the situation is much, much worse, because when they report jobs that are gained, it's always worse than that, okay? Because they're hiding what's going on in the economy, because they don't want you to believe your lying eyes when you see the price of eggs, all right? When you see, you know, the cost of these homes, rent prices going up, you know, you go to try to get a loan or a credit card, and it's a minimum 30% now. You know, you open up a new credit card in the last, I don't know, few years, you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? And so the reason I say there's a war being waged against the house of Israel is because our women have basically been put as the leaders of our community, okay? Now they didn't make an announcement and do this. They didn't declare it, but what did they do systematically over the course of a period of time? They incentivized the woman, okay? They gave her women's liberation. That's how it started. They said all women got rights. Okay, you can have your own credit card, you can have your own this, you can have your own that. They started there, and then they incentivized our women, okay, to basically get more money on top of being able to own things outside of their marriage, okay? If you had a man or you had a husband, you wouldn't get any benefits, okay? And I find it ironic that now Trump is now trying to offer money for people to have kids and things of that matter, because what he meant to do to us is spilled out to the rest of the people, to the so-called whites and everybody else. Okay, they poison the well. I use that phrase a lot. Okay, when you poison the well, everybody that has groundwater linked to it gets poisoned as well. Okay, and we're the canary in the coal mine. Whatever happens to us, whatever kind of oppression happens to us, eventually it happens to everybody else. Okay, because Esau has a scorched earth policy. Okay. So when they did this, you know, they basically put the woman over us, okay, and over you in general. Because if you get married nowadays and you make all of the money, okay, you basically are not the head of the household, okay? Head of household is just a legal tax status, okay, that you mark on a document, but you're not actually the head. You can't make any decisions, okay? If your woman wants to divorce you, kick you out of the house, and then bring another man in, she can do that legally. It's her right to do it, and then you can do about it. If she wants to divorce you because she's bored, or she feels like you're emotionally unavailable, whatever BS term they come up with, they can do that. Okay, your power has been stripped from you in terms of the family unit. Okay, and why did they do that? To put her up over you, because she's the more gullible, the more susceptible. Okay. And she would be easier to destroy, all right? So that gets me back to my point of what's happening in these job markets. But I'm gonna get a precept real quick. This is First Timothy chapter 2 verse 13. It says, for Adam was first formed, okay, then Eve. Now if you know about the accounts in Genesis, okay, Adam and Eve were not literally the first two people on the earth. There was a race of people that came before them. This is why Adam can allude to his mother and his father, okay, and how their son Cain was able to get a wife, because they were not the firstborn. Now, when it says Adam was firstborn and then Eve, it's speaking about the order. Adam was the first man that the Most High carved out of man to establish the order that you know today. The man is above the woman, is subjected to the man, etc. Okay, that's what it's talking about. Okay, there was an order to things. Okay, it says, and Adam was not deceived. Why was Adam not deceived? Okay, Adam was not deceived because he knew better. Okay, he had the wherewithal to know better when the serpent tempted them in the garden. Okay, as Yahweh Shai said, now you have no cloak for your sins, because the way of life was breathed into Adam. Okay, he was given dominion over the animals and etc. Okay, he knew the ways of the Lord, but he still rebelled. But it says, the next point, it says, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. So she got deceived, meaning the serpent beguiled her. Okay, so when a society puts a woman over a man, you got to know what's coming next is the whole household is about to fall, because she's the weaker vessel. She's going to be easier to control, to manipulate, to get buy-in from. Okay, when women sees something in television, she's way more likely to believe it than a man. A man is going to be more analytical. He's going to have more foresight. He's going to be more cautious. He's more risk averse. Okay, he's more logical. All right. But with woman, you can get into the psychology of a woman. You say the right colors, the right words, the right combinations. It really doesn't matter whether or not it makes sense. She's going to go for it. Okay. And this is why they turned everything upside down. Okay. Now there's the phrase, the so-called black woman is the most educated. Why is that? Okay. And what have you done? You've accumulated the most student loan debt. That's what you've done, because you're also the poorest. Okay. You make less than even the so-called black man, which is amazing in and of itself, because we're at the bottom. Okay. You somehow make less, but you're the most educated, because that's a stumbling block. And now you got debt on top of it. So you've been spoiled. Now, I want to make the point that this isn't the only thing, this job loss. Okay, they have also attacked Section 8. They have also started pursuing student loans, those who haven't been paying, and they know who got the most student loans. It's the so-called most educated. So when I say they're attacking the house of Israel, they are attacking us, because a lot of young men who live with a lot of single mothers, and 70% of kids were, in 2022, I believe, 70% were born without a father or just had a single mother. Okay. So this degeneracy problem is getting worse and worse and worse. So when they attack the mothers, they're basically trying to uproot you. Okay. And they're going to have cause to get rid of you once Jake starts wilding out past a certain point. Okay, he's going to have a license to bring out the sword. And then what did Trump do on top of that? He said he's going to unleash law enforcement. Okay, you see, this devil is crafty, man. Okay, so yet another thing to get Jake corralled into this position where he's got no other choice but to accept it, man. Let me get this real quick. Isaiah 29. Let me see. Verse 15, it says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh. All right. It says, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Well, we see you. Okay. The scriptures say, lest Satan get an advantage of us, we're not to be ignorant of his devices, and this is definitely a device. The selling people on female empowerment and feminism and all of this BS, all right, it's a stumbling block. It's set up. It's a psyop. Okay. The CIA is single-handedly destroying the minds of people, and when he destroys your mind, he destroys everything. Okay. Verse 16, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Okay, and they think it's a good thing that a woman is over a man. They think it's a good thing that you can, you can be a CEO, all right? Tell a bunch of other men what to do. Okay, they think it's a good thing that you can waste your 20s fulfilling a career with no kids, and then you turn around and try to have kids. Or you have kids by a different man who you know wasn't shit. Excuse my French. And then at 30, 35, you're gonna try to find a real good man. They think this is normal. This is not normal. This is upside down. Y'all esteemed it as the potter's clay, meaning you think it's natural. Okay? It's not natural. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not, or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? You know? Go to the other precept. This is about to get worse, okay? And all of you that are settled on your lees, that think the Lord is just gonna have this be a bump in the road, and things will get better, you're gonna find out, okay, the hard way. The Lord is infuriated, okay? This is Matthew chapter 12. Let me see, is it verse 29? Yep. Matthew chapter 12, verse 29, or else how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man? All right? And then he will spoil his house. So we got bound, okay, through BS laws like Title 4D, putting people on child support, which isn't even legal. All right, destroying lives. Okay, you had the whole crack epidemic. How did that much cocaine get into every single inner city? Over decades, you sustain this over decades. You're getting it from China, Colombia, Vietnam. A bunch of niggas could not do this and sustain it over decades without Esau sanctioning it. Okay, but it sure got there. How did you get over 100,000 gang members in Chicago? Okay. They allowed this to flourish, man. The same federal laws that govern the South Side of Chicago also govern Beverly Hills. But you have two different outcomes, don't you? Because the execution of the law and judgment, it isn't there. Because they want you to die. And what puts the nail in the coffin is look at the music they promote. Who do they give record deals to? People that promote death culture. That's who they promoted. This is let me get it. And Habakkuk. Chapter 1, verse 4, it says, therefore the law is slacked, and the judgment doeth never go forth. For the wicked do compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceeded. This is why Jake is in the gang culture, they're in adultery. Okay, some of these gangs is just straight up witchcraft, okay? Satanism. Your leaders are sexy reds and LeBron James, okay? Complete bugged out sellouts, man. That's who your leaders are. They've put you in a social prison. That's what your role is. They're not gonna let you be great at real estate. They're not gonna let you be great at running a defense contracting business, okay? Where you own weapons and things. Nothing of importance. They're gonna allow you to be a household name, and they'll let you be a household name in sports, entertainment, and politics. Because those are locked down, and they're a means to control the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American at large, okay? The strong man has been bound, okay? And the house is being spoiled. And I'm telling you right now, the blood follows this. I get this precept a lot. I'm going to go to it. Sirach. Nope. Sirach 22 and 24. As the vapor and smoke of a furnace goeth before the fire, so reviling before blood. So just as sure as you see smoke coming out of a fire, you can guarantee that blood is going to follow the reviling and the demonization and assassination of character. Okay? You can bet on it. Okay? They're furthering this with the mockery of a 12-foot statue of the worst depiction of our women, man. Okay? Y'all don't see this coming? All right? You can get settled and comfortable here all you want. But the Lord has got a special judgment for people like you. 2 more precepts and I'm going to close it. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 14. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. You're not supposed to be emotionally, spiritually invested into this place, man. You deal with a woman, deal with it sparingly. Okay, you deal with a woman, just expect that woman could turn against you or be taken away from you at any moment. Okay? It says be as pilgrims on the earth. That starts with the mindset now. It don't mean just when all hell breaks loose, we're going to be wandering around physically. That means your mind has to be out of this place. When it says in Jeremiah, flee Babylon, okay, when it says in Revelation 18, come out from my people, it's talking about divesting spiritually and emotionally from this place, man. It's demonic. It's too many things that play on your flesh to try to get you to, you can't do it, okay? Last precept I'll get, Zephaniah 1 and 12. This says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles. That's being done right now. Okay? The real Hebrew Israelite camps, they're being found out. Okay? They're confounding each other. Okay? They're arguing and debating back and forth. The Lord put that debate spirit in a lot of these Israelite camps for a reason. Because he's sifting things out. The elect is being woken up. And now more than ever, there's no shortage of videos. You know, I see the Elder Menachem Zakba do videos out of South Carolina of Christians just going in, trying to correct us. Okay, you sat up here for how many centuries or decades preaching the same thing? No growth, crime going up, poverty going up. You know, more confounded and confused than ever, getting into more and more degeneracy. On your watch, more things have degraded than upgraded. And now all of a sudden you want to come out like you got a solution against us. No, man, you don't have the spirit on you to endure what's coming. Y'all are going to fall. Y'all are part of the system. You're a part of who the Lord's going to destroy when he gets back. Okay? Didn't mean to go on that side tangent, but the whole house of Israel is being searched out. Okay? It says, and punish the men that are settled on their lees. That means if you think that whatever you got served reserved or stacked up is going to deliver you out of in that day, it's not. Okay? No amount of money you've amassed is going to get you out of what's coming. The scriptures say there's a great insurrection upon them that fear the Lord. All right? Why is that? Because this devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath, like it says in Revelation, the 12th chapter. Okay? It says, and I punish the men that are settled on their lees, and that say in their heart that the Lord Jehovah would not do good, neither will he do evil. Therefore, their good shall become a booty. You see? Getting comfortable is the worst possible thing you can do in these days, man. All right? The Lord is on his way. Okay? And you're either with him or against him. He's not dealing with that in-between nonsense, okay? So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. On to the next. Shalom.